What's up, TappN fam? We're back with another Shots O'Clock series where we give you the insider secrets on the nightlife in your city by sitting down with the curators of the nightlife itself. Today, we have the absolute pleasure of sitting down with a dynamic duo, a power couple, if you will, who has made their presence in the Cleveland nightlife absolutely evident. Ladies and gentlemen, Swoope and Ash. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us today.
Absolutely. We're so pleasure being here.
Okay, appreciate you. Before we get into it, how y'all feeling? Enjoy this Cleveland weather. You know, we got a little preview of spring for a minute.
You know what? Yeah, you gotta take advantage of days like these.
Yeah, for sure.
Literally just talking about it too. Like it's some good weather, right?
Hey, we're enjoying while it lasts because we all know how that goes.
It's a blizzard. It'll be a blizzard next week.
So I've had the opportunity to see you guys out and about in the scene, but over the last few weeks, I've had the opportunity to dive into you as individuals and entrepreneurs as well. Swoope, with you and That's Major.
Yes.
I really love the platform that you created, so I appreciate the fact that I get to sit down as the host and you get to be in the guest chair.
I appreciate being able to sit down, answer questions and kind of kick back a little bit. You know what I mean? You got all the pressure on you right now.
No pressure. I know that you guys with That's Major, not only with the series, but I've seen you do a series of events as well. So how long have you been in the event scene per se, if you don't mind me asking?
You know what? Major 7 Production has always kind of specialized in special, unique events. It hasn't been like an ongoing thing where it's like, okay, every year or every month kind of thing. But Major 7 Production on the event side actually started out with speed dating events.
Really?
Yeah, and I thought it would be a great idea because, we were a couple that was pretty well known in the city, and it's like for us to both kind of throw that together, I believe that's what made it successful and more appealing at first. And and then fast forward with the show That's Major, the last event we threw was great. We tied that all into each other, having all the guests that were on the show at the event and kind of, making it all built around that. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I love that. And Ash, now I saw that you also have your business, 7 Designs, right?
Yes.
Now, that's something that you've been doing, but recently you just made it legit. You don't mind me asking?
Yes, no. So, like you say, like it's something I've been doing personally, like on and off like this thing. So it kind of like just recently dawned upon me, like I always get like with my friends and everybody be like, you should do this, you should do this. And over the years, and you're just like, okay, whatever. And then I'm like, how it's just like that time where you get your call and where it's like, hey, it's time. And what better way to do it? And it was his birthday. So I'm
okay.
Like, hey, let's put it together and make this happen. So, yeah. And I was just like, let's do this. The name came from my baby. Her name is 7.
Okay.
And designs, of course, because of the event designing. So put it all together, 7 Designs.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I love how your two individual markets have blended together.
Yes.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, she's been doing my parties and everybody else's parties for a long time now. So like you said, she's just now making it official, but it's been an ongoing thing, putting a special touch on each event. So 7 Designs, that's where it's at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, say that for sure.
What he said.
Yeah. So moving forward, now that you've established that and you guys have both built a brand, not only as individuals, but as a collective, as a couple, where do you see that going, or where would you like that to go within the next, we'll say 5 years?
Okay, well, I'll start off first. So like with 7 Designs, of course, I would like to literally be like to the point where you see me, you see 7 Designs. I want to be the staple of the city where, like, whenever you think about an event, or if you want to have like a small gathering or whatever the case is, I'm the first thing you think about. Well, 7 Designs is the first thing you think about. So that's kind of like my goal. We're putting it out there in the forefront, like whoever's having a party or whatever you have or they have going, they're calling 7 Designs.
Yep.
Yes, you're calling 7 Designs.
Say that. I love that. Manifestation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And, That's Major as a show. It keeps growing. I feel like it's growing at a rapid pace, and, soon it's going to be on a very national level. So when you attach those national events with it, you say as, a couple in the businesses, 7 Designs will be putting on, national events as well. So
now, Major 7 Productions, walk me through your first event or your first few events. How did that really come into fruition?
Ooh, so I got to go way back. So Major 7 production really started when I was in college.
Okay.
So, try to make a long story short, my dad, I grew up in production. So my dad, he owned a chain of hair salons called Mirror Mirror. He was a very quote unquote major figure in the city of Cleveland and in other states as well. With his businesses, he was one of the first to introduce models, the Mirror Mirror models. He had hair shows, hair competitions. So it was always production. It was always cameras around. It was always entertainment around. And I grew up right, in the thick of that. So I was, camera was put in my hand at an early age, you know what I mean? Or they even had a show called The Big Hair Thing, him and my mom, where it was a kind of like a hair show play. Okay. And I was an actor in the play.
Okay.
So, anyway, fast forward, my dad ended up passing when my freshman year of college. All his equipment is still there. It's kind of, it's left with me. So, I started doing highlight videos because I was a basketball player. I was actually doing those already. And when the equipment was left, it's like, all right, I got to come up with a company name now. I got to keep this going. You know what I mean? So Major, that's my middle name. 7, my dad was born on 7th day of the 7th month, 7th child. My child is born on the same date, which is crazy.
That's love. Yeah, testimony.
Yeah. So yeah, Major 7 production really started back with highlight videos. I started doing AAU tournaments, filming those, weddings, things of that nature. So it just really just kind of grew from there over the years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And to see it come into, again, because I get to see the aftermath. I saw what the finished product look like now. So to hear the testimony from where you've been to where you are now is absolutely a testimony in itself. And to find, somebody to compliment your other half that not only supports but can help encourage,
For sure.
Yeah. Now forget trying. You doing it. Y'all doing it, sure. So as this dynamic duo within the city, I've seen you guys out and about, your pictures. What is one thing, and I guess I'm going to ask you this, when it comes to events, what do you feel is one of the most important elements to throwing a successful event?
Oh my goodness, we were just talking about this. Making your guests feel like they're not only just like a guest to your event, but like that they're a part of it. Like that's again another thing that like kind of 7 Designs like specialize is in not just, and that's why people are going to choose me, is because the fact that not only like I feel like the biggest idea of throwing a party or whatever is not just, don't focus just on the person who's throwing the event. Focus like the surrounding, the energy, like
the energy.
Yes, the energy and the aesthetic of like what is the reason why I want to come to this party, and I think it's always about like making your guests feel like they're a part of whatever that thing is, but like making them feel like they're like, hey, why do I want to come back to an event that he or she is having? And whatever that thing is, that's why.
And I feel like you guys do that very well.
If I want to butt in, I think that's something that we as a couple have always done naturally. It's not an intentional thing.
Right.
We're both like that. So if it's her birthday or if it's my birthday, our friends and family, when we kick it together, it's like, we like, hey, no, this is all of our birthday. We about to, you know what I'm saying? We about to turn up. We about to kick it. Our wedding was even like that. Okay. So it's like, yeah, it was in Jamaica. So, everybody there felt like, man, we're all just celebrating each other. We don't go focusing on like celebrate us. This is our wedding. That's never been our speed. So that's, pretty much what her company is going to be built off of is really like a genuine, organic, unique thing that's always been there. You know what I mean?
So when you're not curating events, when you're just being, a guest as somebody else, or you're going out looking for something, what is something that you gravitate towards? What is something that you're looking for to be a guest at? What event is really going to draw you in?
For me personally, so, well, we do a lot of traveling and everything like that. So my mindset here in Cleveland is like very broad. And I wish people would have the same mindset. I try to like talk to certain friends that might talk down on the city or something like that, and it's like, man, at the end of the day, man, Cleveland, really everything you want is actually here. You just gotta go out and do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, all the way from, you know, we have a river, we got the flats, we have a body of water that we have clubs and bars off of. Every city does not have that. From me traveling, every city does not have that. For nightclub, every city does not have a day party with a pool and a stage.
Audition, especially when it's summertime or something like that. Like, give me the vibes of like a day party. Like, it isn't even like, you know how they always, like how you just said the body of water. I don't care how black that water is. Like, when it's
The water is not blue. I was gonna say that. He's a
little boast of atmosphere.
exactly the atmosphere and the energy of like the place. Like I feel like always, and I always tell them, because I always say like, hey, I want to open up a place. I want to open up a bar and whatever. And it's like, he always like, oh, you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to do that. But I'm like, it's really not. I'm like, someone can have like the best bar ever. Like the aesthetic could be there. They can have like all the glitz and glam, but it's about the energy and what brand, like how do you feel when you're walking in that door? And that's what I look like. But to answer your question, like, literally, that's what I look for. Like, I want to feel good when I'm going in there. From the cocktail to the music to what I want to feel like. Okay, well, I have a baby now, but like, I want to feel like I'm not seeing my kid until Monday.
I'm outside.
I'm like, I'm outside to kick you to have a time. Like, and I want to be like, when I wake up in that morning, like, dang, I want to go back there.
Okay.
So that's my whole.
To sum it up from what I'm saying is just say no you don't you
That complimented very well. Yeah.
just a unique ticket. So
Yes.
if that's a speak easy that day, that's a speak
Okay.
easy.
Yes,
If
yes.
that's just us going to a hotel bar and there's a dope bartender at the Aloft or something like that downtown, shoot some pool, that's the vibes. You know what I mean? If you want to go to Anejo, which I believe that's called Play Now, and my boy Dave.
That's right. Yeah. They here.
Shout out my boy Dave. You know, if you want to do an after party, kick it at Filter. If you want to do a strip club,
Right.
we're very versatile. So it's like, but what I'm saying is Cleveland has all of those things.
We do.
We got rooftop bars. So we got the 9 rooftop. We got bar 32 if you want that. If you want to look over the lake. We got every sports team there is. We got everything. So it's more of people having more of an open mind and actually going out and exploring what the city has to offer.
I couldn't agree more. And you spoke on it in the sense of, you know, it took you going out and seeing other elements and being able to compare it. And from my experience, you know, also being able to do a decent amount of travel, not only stateside, but internationally, same thing. People say, oh, there's nothing to do in the city, but there is something to do every day of the week here in Cleveland.
It really is.
You just have to be able to you have to be willing to not only step out, but get out of your comfort zone.
That's what it is. So you see, yeah. So when it comes to, you got to be more versatile in your thought process, and it's like it's there. Once you open your mind, you gonna see so much more. Like, wow, we really had all of this all along. Yeah, you know what I mean?
So to elaborate on that a little more, what is one thing you feel Cleveland or the Cleveland nightlife has that other cities or other states don't have?
Ooh.
Cleveland, I mean, just in general. So when we say the nightlife, I can't say specifically what we have, but I think that our city and the people here in our city are unique in themselves. You know what I mean? I think people are very, open here to talk if you want to talk. Like the vibes and the energy. That's what she keeps talking about, is the vibes and the energy. Like I said, we have the body of water. I mean, we got the brunch tickets. We got the rooftop tickets. We literally have everything. We might not have as much as another city may have in one area, but we might have this that city doesn't have at all. So I think we have a variety all together that every city does not have.
And I was gonna say, just to elaborate on that, like literally, even though New York is like a stretch of an example, but like just being there and like us going out, we went to the fight or whatever, but like the people there were different. And I'm thinking, like I said, New York is kind of like a bit of a stretch because like you go to other places and the people will be kind of cooler. But what I mean by that is like They look, you talk to them or have conversations, and they be like,
They don't want to talk to you. They
like,
look you over.
excuse me.
Bartender talking to you crazy. But I love that too, though.
I think that's crazy because I'm up here about to tip you and tip you good. You're barely saying 2 words. So then here it is. Now I'm like drinking this cocktail and we sit at the bar and like now we am talking and we whispering. So anywho, to say that to say like when you hear like the bar, yes, you do have some rude people or whatever, but like once you talk and open up, they have no choice but to, and they will. And before you know, by the end of the night, you didn't tip their good, but like you had a great conversation. So yes, the energy, and I think that Cleveland, even though too, sometimes like you know how some people say that like you know it's a small city. Yes, we're small, but it's like, what do we always compare Cleveland to?
I think it's like the smallest Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's yeah, and it's like you know once you, I don't know, the people here are just like we're like a I don't know, I guess we're like a family in a way.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like we're a city, but this is small town vibes.
yes,
Yeah. We know it's us against the world. Really, not.
I mean, I like you, but I like you more than I like them. Yeah.
For sure.
Well, what is that's what's something that Cleveland has that other cities don't have? What do you feel is one thing that is missing from the city, or something that you would like to see more of?
Just people with having an open mind, like I always talking about, because I think it's here. It's just really just exploring more. I think that Cleveland, though it has a lot of different ethnicities, I don't think that they blend together as much as I would like to see. If that makes sense.
I would say that much more like more blended.
If that so events that are
Yeah.
or blended, you know, like if somebody from Cleveland goes to Vegas, you know, at certain clubs, you're not expecting just to hear a certain type of music when you go to a day party in Vegas. Like you're gonna hear a variety of different music, but you're fine with that while you're in Vegas. Be fine with that here, and guess what? You're gonna be in a different venue that you've never been to. So it's really just the mindset, because I think we have everything here.
I love that.
That was a good one. I can't top that. I really could not. I was thinking more so like like going to events where it's like a mix where you see kind of like he said, not just ethnicity, but like people able to be open to like, okay, yeah, they might not be playing this type of music that I want to hear today, but they might have something else, you know, just being openness. So I agree with that a whole lot.
Okay.
Different vibes.
Yeah.
So when you guys are out and about, you have your go-to location, especially with y'all being, I mean, you don't have to shout nobody out in specific, but you know, I know if you're out and about, you have if you're not saying a specific location, maybe a specific area. So, you know, Cleveland's got the downtown scene, the Coventry scene, the Flats, Cleveland Heights, Ohio City, Tremont. Do you have a specific area that you favor?
Yeah, if we had to pinpoint it, we all over the place.
I would say definitely downtown. We're going there much more than any other place.
Yeah, I would blend downtown with that Ohio City area. This is right across the bridge. Okay, so I kind of put those together.
Right.
But, yeah, you go to Lost Nightclub, Rumor, Ivy if you're doing West 6.
I love Brightside.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
She love Brightside, yeah.
Bird of Paradise downstairs.
Yeah, Brightside, Ohio City area. The Flats, especially in the summer, like I said, off of that water, and you could just kind of walk around. Dante's Inferno. Like I said, at the end of the night, you go over the filters, like it's all there.
Okay, cool.
It's all there, yeah.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, has that, I mean, because you guys are a little more established as far as maturity goes, has that changed as you guys have grown? You know,
for sure.
Do you see the younger version of you, you know, was you still downtown? Were you still out and about, or how does that shift? And I only ask that because, you know, the dynamic to where this new generation coming up, you know, now we're looking for the 30 and up places, right? Like, and not saying always, but I would love a 30 and up lunch.
No, I would say for me, definitely for sure. Like when I was younger, I was definitely kind of like, I would say more, I was kind of around, but like more so downtown area, but like West 6 was like the thing. That's kind of where that was like my circle, I would say. Like I literally only went places there, and that kind of was like, not necessarily it, but it was because I really didn't want to, I didn't have interest in going anywhere else.
So you probably didn't know anything else.
And yeah, exactly. And I was like, I would say like 21, because I really didn't start really actually kicking and going while I was in college too. But And
I was in the Coventry area,
okay.
city and east a lot.
It's like downtown though,
No,
mostly.
Coventry, but we would go over to the hookah bar.
Okay, yeah.
On City and East. City and East used to go to yeah. He used to go on a Thursday, be up tonight, Saturday night.
And the thing is, that's yeah.
And fun fact, we actually met out.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so this right here is a testimony of the Cleveland nightlife.
No, for sure.
Crazy.
And it was
Wait, before not to interrupt you, but I kind of need to hear the story now. If y'all don't mind sharing at least a chapter of it. So since you guys have a testimony of the Cleveland nightlife, walk me through how you guys met.
all right. So
I'm gonna let him take this off because I'm gonna let him see. I'm gonna see what he gotta say about. Okay, go ahead.
So I had just moved back from Atlanta. I was doing stuff in production in Atlanta, and I was just kind of moving back, just trying to figure it back out if I wanted to go back or not. Anyway, so me and my brother ended up going to a spot called the Sunny Spot. This was on Noble, and you hip to it?
We're here.
How old is it or not like that? Yeah.
32.
Okay. All right. So there you go. All right. So the Sunny Spot, yeah, Noble, kind of Cleveland Heights, almost East Cleveland. So yeah, it was going. Yeah, it was packed. It was like you couldn't move walking around there. So she ended up being in there with her sister, who I love and know now.
And I never really, wait, real quick, I'm just gonna interject. I never really like went out. Like this is like I was in college. I was probably coming home for like one of the weekends.
She was in Akron.
Yeah,
She was coming home for the weekend.
Coming home
Yeah.
for the weekend just with my sister. She wanted to kick it, and which I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say I just didn't want to kick it, but it was just like this was a night that it was like I really was not supposed to be outside. It's like okay, hey, whatever, I'll go with you, but whatever. But it was going. But keep going.
But yeah, it was packed in the Sunny Spot. Long story short, my brother was ready to leave. We go to the next spot, and then she like walked through the crowd, and then I'm like, hold on. I said, I ain't going nowhere. I said, hold on, I gotta talk to little Pocahontas over there real quick. So then, me and her locked eyes, and it was like a moment. It was like the movies.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
It really was though. And then I asked her name and everything like that, and told her I'd meet her at the bar when I go to close my tab. And then, yeah, that's how we met. It went on from there.
That's beautiful.
Was he going like? Oh yeah, he cool.
Story. That's the same story.
Well, first I was saying, cause I'm like, usually when you go to a bar meet, I'm not you meet a guy in a bar type of girl.
Right.
Like I just feel like okay, they probably drank a little bit, and which I really didn't drink too much, but I was like, okay, everybody in here is drunk. So you know, like whoever I meet or whoever I talk to, I'm not gonna remember who you are, so whatever. So that's when he was like something about when I'm gonna talk to you. When we get over to the bar, he actually made it over there. Now I remember him. He had this Android phone. Yeah, like a flip thing. And he was like, you know, I'm coming over here to get your number. And I'm like, you don't even remember my name. And he's like, yeah, it's Ash. So I was like, damn. But yeah, it's there.
They shut.
Oh yeah.
No, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, and I love, especially to hear the testimony from where it started, to see you guys go through the chapter of life to where you've established your businesses together. You know, you've started branding yourself in the scene together. You got a beautiful child together now. So that is an absolute testimony, and I feel like that's what people definitely need to hear more of, in a sense of, you know, it's not just about going out and kicking it. It's about connecting, about networking, about communicating, and community in itself. So we definitely appreciate that. In closing a little bit, where do you guys see yourself both as individuals and as, you know, business owners within the next 5 years?
Yeah. Well, I mean, next 5 years, I expect, you know, that's major to be on probably a major streaming platform, maybe even cable television.
Okay.
And kind of just, you know, taking it from there. But that's the vision, and being very intentional about that.
Amen. Say that. That's it.
Yeah, I love that. That was good. And for me, like I stated before, just reiterating, I would like to see my business, 7 Designs. Like honestly, I would love to travel. You know, traveling where I take these events where I'm getting calls and people are kind of demanding like, hey, I need you here, I need you there. So I would love to travel is my middle name.
Yeah.
So
Well, if anybody's looking for a traveling designer, you know who to call now. There you
yeah, 7 Designs.
Yeah. Well, Swoope, Ash, I appreciate you guys taking so much time to sit down and chat with us. And I definitely look forward to see you out and about in the Cleveland nightlife.
Absolutely.
Thank you. For sure. Absolutely.